Hello again from Metro Manila, the Philippines, Southeastern Asia. This is actually a late news flash because already on April the 21st, 2019, it became known that Mr. Volodymyr Zelensky, a Ukrainian actor and comedian, decisively defeated the incumbent president, Mr. Petro Poroshenko, in the Ukrainian presidential elections second round. He had already been clearly ahead of the incumbent president on the first round. Mr. Zelensky received about 73.2% of the vote on the second round, while the incumbent president Poroshenko got only about 24.5%. And the rest of the votes were cast against both candidates. The Ukrainian electoral law allows that option as well. So who is Mr. Zelensky? He was born in January 1978, so he's a fairly young politician, only 41 years old, but he hasn't been a professional politician for a long time. Before his political career, he obtained a degree in law and created a production company, Kvartal 95, which produces films, cartoons, and TV comedy shows. The same production company created a television series called Servant of the People, which is the name of the new Ukrainian president-elect's political party. The series aired from 2015 to 2019. He announced his candidacy on the eve of December the 31st, 2018, upstaging the New Year's Eve televised speech of President Petro Poroshenko on 1+1 TV channel. Mr. Zelensky is scheduled to take office as the new Ukrainian president by May the 30th, 2019. He married Mrs. Olena Kiyashko in 2003. The couple have 2 children. He was educated at the Kiev National Economic University. He supported the 2013 to 2014 Euromaidan movement, and during the war in Donbass, he actively supported the Ukrainian army. During his presidential campaign, he said that he supported the Ukraine becoming a member of the European Union and NATO, but said that the Ukrainian voters should decide on the country's membership of these 2 organizations in referendums. At the same time, he believed that the Ukrainian people had already chosen Euro integration. His electoral program claimed that Ukrainian NATO membership is the choice of the Maidan and the course that is enshrined in the constitution. In addition, it is an instrument for strengthening our defense capability. The program states that the Ukraine should set the goal to apply for a NATO membership action plan in 2024. The program also states that Zelensky will do everything to ensure that the Ukraine can apply for European Union membership in 2024. 2 days before the second round, that is on April the 19th, 2019, Zelensky stated that he wanted to build a strong, powerful, and free Ukraine, which is not the younger sister of Russia. Russia is the Ukraine's eastern neighbor, and pro-Russian rebels held or hold still parts of eastern Ukraine. Almost exactly 5 years ago, that is in July 2014, tragically, a Malaysian Airlines passenger airplane was shot down over the rebel-held territory in eastern Ukraine. Since then, obviously, major international airlines have avoided flying over that area. The tragedy was that if the airplane had been allowed by one of the regional international airport's control tower officials to climb to a higher altitude, it possibly would have been spared and could have completed its journey to Kuala Lumpur. The journey had started near Amsterdam at the Schiphol airport and was scheduled to end the following morning at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport in Malaysia. Yes, and Zelensky completed the statement, which is not a corrupt partner of Europe, but our independent Ukraine. He stated that as president, he would develop the economy and attract investment to the Ukraine through a restart of the judicial system and restoring confidence in the state. He also proposed a tax amnesty and a 5% flat tax for big business, which could be increased in dialogue with them and if everyone agrees. According to President-elect Zelensky, if people would notice that his new government works honestly, from the first day they would start paying their taxes. Zelensky has said that it would be possible to return the Crimean Peninsula that was in 2014 basically unilaterally annexed by Russia to Ukrainian control only after a regime change in Russia. He supports the free distribution of medical cannabis, free abortion in the Ukraine, and the legalization of prostitution and gambling. He opposes the legalization of weapons. He has opposed targeting the Russian language in the Ukraine. Russian is commonly spoken, especially in eastern Ukraine and also the Ukrainian capital, Kiev. While Russian and Ukrainian are definitely closely related Eastern Slavic languages, they are not fully the same. And various Ukrainian nationalists have promoted the Ukrainian language as the main language of the Ukraine, while then various ethnic Russian nationalists have probably accused the Ukrainian government, or at least the Ukrainian nationalists, of discriminating against the Russian language. He stated in April 2019 that he, of course, supports the decommunization of the Ukraine, but is not happy with its current form. In an interview with RBC Ukraine in April 2019, he said that Mr. Stepan Bandera, a controversial figure in the Ukrainian history, was a hero for a certain part of Ukrainians, and this is a normal and cool thing. He was one of those who defended the freedom of Ukraine, but I think that when we name so many streets, bridges by the same name, this is not quite right. In that same interview, he criticized the overuse of tributes to Taras Shevchenko, a much less controversial Ukrainian poet and painter. He concluded, "We must remember the heroes of today, heroes of the arts, heroes of literature, simply heroes of Ukraine. Why don't we use their names, the names of the heroes that today unite the Ukraine?" In an article for Foreign Policy, Alexander J. Motil called Zelensky dangerously pro-Russian and accused him of using his TV series to smear the Ukrainian language and nationality. In response to suggestions to the contrary, he stated that he regarded the Russian President Vladimir Putin as an enemy. On May the 2nd, 2019, President-elect Zelensky wrote on Facebook that the border is the only thing Russia and the Ukraine have in common. The Ukraine will also, by or on October the 27th, 2019, have parliamentary elections because the Ukraine is a semi-presidential republic. The president has extensive powers and is entitled to nominate the prime minister, can, under certain circumstances, also dissolve the Ukrainian parliament. Because since 2014, the pro-Russian rebels in eastern Ukraine have occupied parts of Donetsk Oblast and Luhansk Oblast, or region, administrative region. Only 224 seats in the Verkhovna Rada, or Supreme Council, which is the Ukrainian parliament's official name, can currently be elected under current laws, and roughly 12% of voting age Ukrainian citizens cannot participate in the elections. Under the current election laws, 225 members of the Verkhovna Rada are elected by nationwide open party list proportional representation. However, only those parties and electoral alliances that get over 5% of the national vote win seats that way. And the other 225, or in practice now 199 seats, are elected in constituencies with the first past the post-electoral system in one round. In other words, the candidates with the highest vote totals, whether over or under 50%, will be elected. According to the latest opinion poll completed by the KIIS polling firm between April the 9th and 14th, the Servant of the People party of President-elect Zelensky would be the most popular party with 25.9% of the vote, followed by the Opposition Platform for Life with 15.7%, the Petro Poroshenko Bloc Solidarity with 13.9%, the All Ukrainian Union Fatherland party with 12.1%, the Civic Position or Civil Position with 5.1%, the party of Colonel General Ihor Smeshko with 5%. The other political parties and groups would fall then under the 5% vote threshold.